Dang, y'all just missed my cat storming off screen. He's a little angry, so hello, welcome back everybody. This weekend we are watching my parents' cat Mocha as they take a little road trip here. So they just dropped her off this morning. She's not happy. So she's a little grumpus, you could say. So if you hear some cat fighting off screen, it's normal. My cat is also not happy. He was all over my partner and I this morning, and the second my dad walked in with that carrier, and he saw Mocha, my cat just instantly was like, and now he won't speak to us. So they're getting along great. I mean, my cat used to live with my parents while I was at college, and that's when they got Mocha, so like they know each other, they're chilled, they're just like more annoyed to see each other, and they're getting in each other's space, but they're fine. Hello Fluli, how are you doing today? But yeah, from yesterday, so when did I stop streaming yesterday? I thought I stopped streaming like around 5, maybe 6. We'll say 6 to be like on the safer side of my insanity. And then I think I went to bed. I think I stopped around like 1 a.m. because then I took a shower and went to bed around 2. I spent 7 hours. This is part of the Beauty and the Beast castle I got with some birthday gift cards. So this is part of it. I spent 7 hours on it so far. This is the halfway mark. And I build Legos like, I'm not slow at building Legos. I take this shit seriously. I built the Mario cube behind the Luma there. This means something to me. But there it is. There is part of it. It is a really, really fun build though, honestly. It makes me feel better about like not getting Legos as often, but when I do, being like, I'm gonna splurge and I'm gonna build it like all at once and just have a really like high intensity fun moment, and then just wait until like another big event pops up. Because we need, I can't buy too many Legos before we literally have to like move or something, because I want to display them all. I gotta show you all what I got so far. So this is it from the front. You can see there's tons of little like gargoyles and statues. They're kind of the most tedious things to put together, but they're so cute. They're so cute. But they are tedious, so they haven't been... These towers took a long time to build. There's so many very tiny pieces that have to be put in so many particular ways. But it does look really detailed, so it is worth it. But this took like literally like a couple hours, maybe like an hour for a tower. Like it doesn't look like it should take that long, but it's so particular. Oh, I'm terrified holding this Fluli. I'm absolutely mortified. The ballroom though, look at the little ballroom in there. The ballroom's been my favorite to put together. So this is the outside of it. You can see the little windows. You can even maybe take a peek at Belle and Beast in there, and there's a little chandelier. I'm gonna turn it around and show you guys the back side. I'm scared. Okay, there's the little there's their little ballroom. My favorite details, my favorite thing to build have been all the blue curtains, because when you build them, they kind of just look like little blue blobs in the blueprints, and it doesn't tell you where it goes when you first start building them. But then when you place them, you immediately know. You're like, oh, obviously these are the curtains that are very iconic to the ballroom color grading in the movie, right? So it's like that's my favorite part about building Legos, is being like, what the heck is this supposed to be? And then once you place it into the rest of the stuff, being like, oh my god, it completes it. There is a little wheel over here you can use to make them dance in the ballroom. Very cute. And the reason I'm holding this extra carefully, let me put this back the infamous staircase moment is its own little thing. It slides out right here. And you've got these stairs. How cute is that? How cute is that? Yeah, it slides in and out. I guess if you want to have more space in the castle, like it does have the back of the doors there. I don't know if there'll be scenes that are interchangeable, possibly. But also the fact that these curtains are built into the inner part makes me think that they just want you, if you want to move this to be like closer to the actual ballroom or have a different like little play space. I'm trying to think how I would have played with it as a kid. I definitely would have disconnected this and like made it its own centerpiece in a different map or something. But then put it back and store it in there at the end of the day, or I would have had like a, if this were like The Bachelor, I would pull this out for like, if I were doing Lola's Pet Shop The Bachelor, which I used to play when I was like 10, I would definitely pull this out for like the fancy dates and the big reveals, but then I would have like the final rose and stuff, and the eliminations take place in here, or I'd have some people like fight to the death in here for The Bachelor or something. So that's how I would play with it as a kid, I imagine. So I appreciate this coming out but still being designed to look like it belongs in there. But I'll leave it right there. I'll leave it right there. But yeah, I'm having a fun time building it. I just sat in bed and I didn't take any breaks at all. Like this wasn't like 7 hours of building on and off. No, I just sat in bed and I locked in for 7 hours. I thought for the first like half of it came in 2 booklets to build, and for the first half of the book I was going so fast. I was like, I might be able to build this all if I pull an all-nighter. And then once I got to like all the detail parts on the towers themselves, I was like, this ain't gonna happen tonight. And then I was like, well, I can at least finish this book tonight around like 11. I'm like, I can probably still at least finish this book tonight. And I thought I'd have like half an hour of work left. And then 2 more hours rolled around and I'm like, I've finally done it. My like fingers were actually swollen. I had to stop too because my fingers were swollen a bit from all the like sharp little corner pieces you have to move around. So I may have went too hard, but I will show you guys my progress on this more tomorrow morning, because I'll definitely be doing this more after stream today. Also the curtains came in. I forgot to order the rod for the curtains. I thought they came with this set. Then I rechecked my Amazon and saw a separate order for curtain rods, so I guess they did not. But this is the color they're gonna be, and that will be like right back here-ish. So it should blend in well with the rest of our color scheme, and should still let in a little bit of light, but not nearly the harsh sunlight that we have been seeing. Hopefully that doesn't fall on me. But yeah, the little background is really coming together. I've been happy spending getting, like, my partner got me so much stuff for my streaming setup, and then I definitely spent stuff with the streaming setup in mind, like with the curtains and with the Lego build. I'm just making this feel more like a little home, so I'm very happy. Are you still on the Pokemon grind, Fluli? I actually, so one game I need to gather reference for this, theme park video I'm doing. It'll make sense when the video's out. But one game I need to pull is Pokemon Legends Arceus. I do talk about that quite a bit in that video, so I need to actually open that game up again. And then I need to get hyped about the new one coming out. I was going to pre-order that with, like, I put some stuff into, like, a GameStop money, but I ended up checking my storage. I'm like, well, how much storage do I have currently on the Switch 2? I've already almost filled up the storage. Granted, I installed basically everything from the Switch 1 on the Switch 2 because I was so excited it had more storage. But I've already almost filled it up again, so I did have to spend my money on a Express SD card. Basically for that. But with the remaining money, it wasn't enough to like place a pre-order, and I'm like, I am now more convinced that I want to get the first party Nintendo stuff for like the rest of the year. I'm actually like really locked in, and I'm like, maybe I should just buy all of their new releases. I won't be able to play any other games, but like I'm really locked in for Switch 2 now. But I do still hesitate with Pokemon stuff. I have confidence seeing how the other Switch games are running on Switch 2. I'm like, okay, I think maybe we are turning a corner in Pokemon quality again for the better. But I probably won't pre-order Legends. Hopefully I would probably get it like the same week, but I do want to wait and see. As long as it runs, I'll be fine with it, but that's a big if. But I did really enjoy Legends Arceus, so I need to boot that up and gather some footage for it for this next video. And I have a bunch of matched Legos in like this little Lego box, like this little Lego guy behind some of like my Disney pins and the amiibos. That's full of like a bunch of Lego City things that kind of all got crumbled over moves, but they were like my favorite sets. I think one of my favorite sets in there is, I know it's the Lego Police. I know they're bad, that's why but they're like all decapitated in my little Lego bin, if that helps. But the Lego City Police sets, they are really, really cool. My favorite ones were like the big, like long semi-truck that you could lift up the sides on, and they had like little undercover like seats, and they even had like they had like one door that was like a kennel, so you could have like the little police dogs in there, and then they had another that was like a little jail cell that slid in and out for the robbers. So I really like that semi. And then there's another one where it's like a little like small road setup, but they have like a little office, they have a little security thing, and then they have a little why am I blanking on the thing? The little thing, the thingamabob, the parking thing, the thing that's on toll roads where you have to pay and then the bar will lift, a little parking bar. They have one of those, and it's just like a little like lever you do, but I think that was the first, I remember getting that when I was really young. I think that's the first time I realized Legos could move. Like I always had really static sets, so it was the first time I was like, the Legos are moving, can they do that? And obviously, like, with the little ballroom there, that still fascinates me to this day. But yeah, that's my plans, is more Lego, more Donkey Kong. That's pretty much going to be my plans off stream for, like, the whole next week. And then as a reminder, I will not be streaming next weekend. I will be taking completely off for some belated birthday plans, tied to Beauty and the Beast. I'm gonna go, we're gonna go travel that weekend and see the touring version of Beauty and the Beast, which I guess it's the first time it's toured the Broadway version since I think it said 25 years, which is like almost as long as I've been alive, so I'm very excited, especially since that's one of the ones I performed in high school. I got some nostalgic memories for it. I hope the clarinet, I'm excited to hear if they still have like clarinet solos. I had like one in, my favorite part was like playing in Something There. I think I had a clarinet part in that I really, really enjoyed. So that's what they probably changed it. It's been 25 years, but if I do hear that clarinet tear it up, I mean, it's not appropriate to cheer at a Broadway like type level show, but I might. You've been watching so much Gordon Ramsay Kitchen Nightmares. My partner and I we just watched the other night his new show, which is basically Kitchen Nightmares. I think it's called Gordon Ramsay's Secret Service. It's basically Kitchen Nightmares, but without their consent. They'll have like a mole that reaches out to Gordon Ramsay and they're like, hey, like, this restaurant's going to shit, we need your help, and they'll like leave a key for him, and he'll like, I mean, it's all scripted television anyway, right? So it's all fake anyway, but like he'll go break in to the place in the middle of the night and like go through all of their stuff, and like he thinks he's Jason Bourne or something, so it'll have like all this high-tech like UI stuff over it, and he'll be like, that's disgusting, and it will like zoom in 3 times and enhance like the disgusting thing he finds, and he'll set up all the cameras overnight. It's like he keeps ramping up the theatrics of his shows, but I respect it. It's funny. Like, if you have that much money and that much time, just mess with people, you know? I do love the marketing on the Kitchen Nightmares like YouTube account. It's obviously just some Gen Z, maybe even Gen Alpha now, because it seems too hip for Gen Z nowadays, but it's just obviously just some kid just naming compilations that have nothing to do with anything else, but they'll just name it after whatever like current trends are going around, whatever current lingo's available out there. And it works. They get tons of views, and the compilations, even though they're not related to the trends, like, they're good quality compilations, they're good edits, and they're all like free on YouTube, so it's good content, it's good marketing, even though they're not related to each other. It's working. But yeah, that's how I've been. I hope you all are doing well. We will do, even though I won't be here next weekend, we'll be doing a lot of Donkey Kong the following weekend, so get ready for that. And we'll still be doing all our weekday morning streams now, hopefully with curtains to block the sun. So we'll be doing more Sims 4 tomorrow, Zelda on Wednesday, and then continuing wherever we leave this blockout today, we will pick up on Friday morning. So if you do end up liking these game dev streams, I don't usually do them on weekends because I like to save our like bigger playthroughs. The things we need to put the most hours into, I tend to save for our weekend stuff, mainly like Elden Ring and such. So yeah, we typically do this before I clock into my actual like full-time level design job. We've started doing these in the mornings before that on Fridays, so if you like these, then you can pop in live on Friday mornings, or you can always catch the VODs as I upload them to YouTube. Oh yes, I forgot, there is a big difference between American and British Kitchen Nightmares. He's really crazy in American Kitchen Nightmares. Elden Ring. I have to find out. So I was planning, I have like a Monday off at the start of August, off of work, which is really nice. But I was planning to do, we're just gonna do one Elden Ring stream for August, but I was gonna do it at the start of the months. I don't want to keep you guys waiting that long between Elden Ring streams again. So I was going to do it then, but I'm gonna have to see, boyfriend has some travel plans, so I'm gonna see like what works streaming wise with that. But also Donkey Kong Bonanza, I thought it would be as long as Odyssey for the main story, so I'm like, oh, we could finish that in like a all-day stream, maybe 2 if we want to like get a lot of the secrets and stuff, because I know getting all the secrets will make this like a 50-hour game. But I thought the main story would be like 8 to 10 hours, like Odyssey kind of was. I'm seeing things say 20 hours, and I don't think I'm anywhere near the halfway point, and I've already put, maybe a good, like 5-ish hours into it, and that's where I would have thought the halfway point would be, based off of Odyssey's metrics, and I know I'm not even close. So, we may either just, I might just do either a really quick morning stream as usual that Monday, and just take the rest of the day off just to chill, either do some personal work or just get another Lego set or do whatever I want to do, or we could make it a full Donkey Kong weekend. Like, we can make the Friday stream before it Donkey Kong and the Monday stream after Donkey Kong as well. But we'll have to see. I want to see how much further I get in the game the next few days. And then, yeah, I want to plan out the full August schedule and see, well, where does Elden Ring actually fit in? Because Elden Ring's a pretty high priority when I make the schedule, so Elden Ring will be happening in, like, the first half of the month, though halfway into the month at the latest, I think, because I don't want it to feel like almost a 2-month wait, since our last VOD. I'm eager to get back into it. From Software has a new project. Ooh. I'm interested if it will be something brand new or if it will be off of an existing franchise. That's exciting. I will probably be too weak to play it, but that's exciting for the rest of the world. I do always love seeing them announce stuff. It's pretty hype. But yeah, game dev stream here. So we have been remaking some arenas from Kid Icarus Uprising. We've been remaking those in Unreal Engine 5. I've been joking that, hey, we're going to just keep making and remaking these arenas until Nintendo puts out some sort of Kid Icarus like acknowledgement, either a port or a remake or a remaster of Uprising, or ideally a brand new game or a sequel would also be pretty nice. Anything, just any sort of like crumbs we could get. However, as time's gone on, it hasn't looked like that's going to happen, so we've just been remaking them on our own. And I've been saying we're gonna keep doing this until Nintendo acknowledges Kid Icarus again. So we may be doing this the rest of my life, but that's okay. So we've done 2 already that we've gotten to kind of to a designer art pass or an initial art pass. They're still they're pretty to me because I'm a like layout designer, like a blockout, but I don't actually do the art usually unless it's like touching stuff up after. But I don't do the heavy lifting on art passes because I'm not an artist at all. So these look decent to me at this stage for a blockout, but they're still too ugly to be considered like an art piece or a finished art pass. So I do want to revisit, we kind of keep revisiting Forgotten City and Spiral Tower whenever we have like new things we want to try out, either with we made some destructibles using Unreal's like fracture menu. So we made that to enhance the gameplay, and then we did some like foliage stuff, and we made like some moving flags over in the Spiral Tower map to generate some art stuff. So I like doing little specific things like that, but doing a full art pass on each again will also come in the future. But it's been a while since we've actually added a new map to the list, so we are going to be working on remaking the Ancient Fortress map, which is kind of going to be able to combine the things we've learned from the past 2 maps, because Ancient Fortress has an Ancient Fortress, but we'll be able to use a lot of the same like stone and like castle materials and meshes. We'll be able to reuse a lot of them here. It's very similar, especially like the little vista backdrop here. That's a castle. We have a castle we can put in there eventually, and the lighting's just like little torches. We can come up with something for that eventually as well. So yeah, half of the map is this little interior fight space that you can defend from, with just a lot. It's pretty empty inside, but there's also a ton of ramps, as we discovered making the paper design. So running up and down the ramps in here is kind of like changing verticality constantly is kind of the gameplay feature of the fortress itself, instead of like running from room to room within the fortress itself. It's mostly just open. It's about changing your height more so than anything. And then the rest of it is just, it is a very flat field, and it has some scattered debris for cover, and then it has two little rock pieces and raised elevation pieces that you can use jump pads to get up to. So I do remember fighting out in the field being a bit brutal and no one really wanting to fight out there because of how limited the cover is and how open it is. Even for being a melee heavy game, it is kind of a little more uninspired, especially when you compare the open field thing that we have going on in Spiral Tower, and even this felt too empty and we added a lot more cover to it, but at least there's a change in verticality throughout it. But this is all completely flat, so we might do some stuff with the landscape to spice it up, but for today we're going to stick by the book. We're not going to add anything extra yet. I haven't even made the map. I haven't even made the fresh map yet, so for today we're going to start from scratch, and we're just going to keep referencing this and see how do we build this up from blocks, and we'll just see how far we get today. I'm feeling like maybe streaming about 4 hours today and then getting back to my Legos. So we'll just see as that 4-hour mark approaches. If we're at a good stopping point, like around 3.5 hours, then we could call it there. If it's 4 hours and I still want to get a little more work done, then we'll stream longer. We'll just see how it goes. But yeah, I think so we'll get all the like template stuff set up with the level. We're going to, I need to run from one edge of the map to the other to see how long I want to make, how big I want to make this area here. And then, yeah, and then I feel like we might as well just start with, we'll get the measurement for the entire map, and then I also want to time the measurement running across the ancient fortress, because one thing we got the only thing we got off with the paper design is like this gap here should be equal to the width of the ramps, and like these ramps should be like dead center up here. So this is actually a lot narrower than I thought it would be. Make it 5 quintillion times bigger. Because that's what gamers love, right? Running infinitely across an empty field. Eternally. No level design in sight. Let's do it. Death Stranding. Death Stranding does... I do want to play it. I've never actually played it before. I know my professor in college, when the first one came out, loved it, and I was like, yeah, I love Kojima's stuff, but what's actually the gameplay, you know, of it? I'm like, I love walking sims, but like, is there anything more to it? If anything, I thought it had too many like horror mechanics for me, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm really in the mood for that. And he's like, no, it's just a walking sim, and you just deliver packages, and there's like this throat baby, and there's a beach and stuff, but like none of it gets explained. And I'm like, well, now I'm on board. That sounds incredible. That sounds amazing. I'm like, wait a minute, like, all that stuff in the trailers like really don't matter as much as you're just mostly walking around delivering packages. And I'm so genuine when I say that's the type of stuff I like. So I do need to actually play Death Stranding 1 and 2. It's been on my bucket list for some time. But there's a lot of Sony games that are on my bucket list that I haven't played, because part of me's like, this would be a really good stream playthrough, but also PlayStation games got a lot of cutscenes, so I know they would be long playthroughs on the channel, so unfortunately we don't have as much availability to play them, such as like we do to squeeze in Nintendo games. Especially like if a Kingdom Hearts game or a Final Fantasy game drops in a year, then that is our primary objective, and everything else gets thrown to the wayside. But it is in there for consideration in the giant backlog of games. It's definitely a contender in there. And yeah, the new one looks really cool. I think it's funny, a lot of people are pointing out I guess Kojima actually intentionally, like, Death Stranding 2 was becoming too good of a game. Like, the first one's definitely kind of like a critically acclaimed, but it also feels like a cult classic because so many people, like, did bash on it at the time. But now the second one's, like, genuinely improved so much on some of the critiques of the original that I guess Kojima was, like, intentionally trying to change things to make them, like, more difficult or like less explained and just weirder, because he was like, he didn't want the mainstream crowd to like Death Stranding 2. He's like, no, this is for people that like fell in love with the themes I wanted to do in the first game. You know, this is for the people that liked how weird it was, but now like mainstream media is praising Death Stranding 2 and people are like, he must be so upset that he made like a good game. And I kind of get it. I kind of get it. You make a game that's like weird into your taste and like people bash on it, and then you make a sequel and people suddenly pretend like to love it and stuff again. And it's like, I don't want to be popular, I just want to be cool. I get it, Kojima. He's just out there living his life. Yeah, here's the Spiral Tower map that we currently have. But we are going to go ahead and make a new level. We're not going to make it open world because I'm not dealing with world partition. Practicing self-care is important. So we make this little start area here, get rid of the first thing you should do. I don't remember if this is the case in Unreal 5 as well, but I was told this is the first thing you should always do in Unreal 4 when you make a new map like this, is delete the floor. I don't know why, but the default floor they give you will like get bugged so easily and mess up so much stuff. Just get that out of there. It's evil. It wants to be friends with you. Don't let it. If you see a floor, you just delete it. I say this for your safety. Save current level. Save ancient fortress. Wait, I forgot what I named everything else. Hold on. Where did my levels go? They're not there. Oh, here they are. LKI abbreviation, and then yeah. Okay, I remember now. Yeah, I think it's funny in Death Stranding that like everyone is so apparently like their actor, like just scanned into the game. And I think that's the point, is they're flexing that technology, right? And they're saying like, doesn't it look like they're performing right out of a movie? Cause they are. But yeah, Norman Reedus, it's Norman Reedus, he's just there. We were, my dad and I were watching the Death Stranding video. I think it was actually a recent Clueless Gamer with Conan and him like reacting to him getting scanned into the game. It was before Death Stranding 2 even came out, so it was a bit of early promo for the game actually. It was kind of genius. But he was like, I'm not happy with how I look in and like how I sound in Death Stranding 1 Kojima, and Kojima's like, fly back out and we'll put you in another game. And like, bro's just aura farming. It's not fair. He's like, oh, did you not like it? I guess you'll just have to do another cameo to make up for it. Like, he's just collecting celebrities like Infinity Stones. I know that's his plan. Save this as Ancient Fortress. And now let's stream in the template level. so that we can grab some stuff later. What is happening? Oh, my controller's still plugged in. Enough! Yeah, there's some VTubers in there too. I think what's cool is when you've got like famous people, but like there's different cliques of celebrities, right? You've got your like movie star, like TV realm celebrities, you've got like your industry kind of big names in the gaming stuff, and you've got like your YouTube and streaming stuff. Those are all kind of different bubbles. So I find it really cool when someone just not even just for like a little favor, but like they actively show up in all of those communities, because they don't have like that kind of like, it makes them seem less snobby. I mean, all celebrities are likely some form of snobby. They're celebrities, but yeah, when they just like so openly kind of like click hop like that is cool to me. I keep forgetting Kojima had that other game. I forget what the code name was called. He was working on something, and was it the thing? He's working on something with Jordan Peele, right? I think, and they teased it, and all they did was like it was showing facial capture of people just like screaming. But there's like that there's just the really funny clip of the girl just like very dramatically screaming, but it's funny. She's like, "Wah!" It's like really over the top. And that was like all, and I don't think it was meant to be funny, but it was kind of funny to me. I'm sure in context it will be just traumatizing. I'm absolutely sure. But if you just show me raw motion capture footage, as a game developer, am I not supposed to laugh? I'm not supposed to have a joke. I keep clicking the wrong one. Okay, so what level should we make? We need a blockout level and we need a gameplay level. That's probably all we need for today. Blockout. Set that to always loaded so we can see it. And then let's make a gameplay level. Alright, there we go. So basically what we just did setup wise was we made our map. That's the persistent level. But unlike what I showed you all the other day with how I developed Sonata Theory and placed every single thing ever in the persistent level, now we're going to have a little bit of organization, right? So we made these sub-levels for stuff to go into. So the blockout, what we'll be doing today, is in a level, but then the gameplay stuff, so things like player spawns, pickups, nav mesh stuff, that'll go into gameplay. And then we have this template one. It doesn't load in on start because we don't want it to. This is just here for us to kind of pull reference from. For example, we do need a floor. Where'd my widget go though? Hold on, let me... Where'd the gizmo go? I was ready to start making stuff, but... my gizmo's gone. What the hell? Reload. Sure, save everything. I don't... Okay. It's being weird now. I'm gonna close and reopen it. feel like the past like couple game dev streams, Unreal 5 specifically, has been a little weird on launch. Like it said it recompiled everything in the project the last time we were in editor, but I had to manually hook up. Not even manually hook up, I just had to manually resave and refresh a bunch of like foliage textures. And then yeah, all I did was click into them and save, and it was like, oh, you have this texture here, but it was like refusing to recompile them automatically. It was pissing me off. Jeffrey Dean Morgan owns a candy shop with Paul Rudd? That sounds awesome. That's what celebrities should be doing. Run a candy business. That do sound like the life. Just get candy, run business. That's life. Okay, the Gizmo's back. We are allowed to stream again. The Gizmo has returned home. I don't know why it disappeared. But yeah, for starters, let's just copy this over here. We'll scoot it a little this way. So now I'm going to pull out the 3DS for a moment. So you're gonna see me like looking down at the screen a lot, and let me wow. My curtain rod's out for delivery. Also, to get same-day delivery, I may have had to order a pallet of cup noodles. The Shin Black cup noodles. I'm cultured. But I'm there may be a pallet of noodles on the way also for purely financial reasons. Don't worry about it. It'll be fine. But yeah, let me get the timer, and now let me get this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna time how long it takes for me to run from one side of the arena to the other in match. And then we will match that up with how long it takes to run from one side of the arena to the other otherwise. Might be a little hard. There's not an exact good place to run straight across. This will work. Okay, it took about 13 seconds. Let's get from one side to the other, so let me do game mode override. I think I need to switch the game mode to, I think it's just Lyra game mode. Let me check, let me go back to Spiral Tower real quick. What's the game mode here? Default gameplay experience, B shooter game elimination. That sounds correct to me. Now if I just spawn in from my camera location. Go back. Might make it a little bigger, but honestly, yeah, we're looking at 4 seconds too short. Oh my gosh, the other NPCs are just falling through the world. I didn't even know they had spawn points in yet. That's fine. We'll fix them in a moment. Hajima's scanning celebrities when you press play. Hey Corey, how are you? You know though, genuinely, like a sim where Kojima, like, himself is, like, actively in it, like, he's just Halloween game where he's just trying to scan you into his project and you must get away. That'd be kind of funny. And I say not to put stuff into persistent, but I'm breaking that right now because I'm just gonna stretch this like this, so because I know it's about to do some jank ass scaling here. Oh, let me turn snapping onto scaling real quick. Let's see how we feel about this. Steady. Steady. Ooh, bulk ordered flour? Oh, let's go. Yeah, we've been doing a lot of baking here. Because I usually have a lot of baking stuff for baking like sweets and stuff. But boyfriend likes baking savory stuff like pizzas and breads. So we're having to min-max our storage space to accommodate all the baking stuff. We also have a lot of our families, like, both got us a lot of like kitchen appliances, just not even just recently, but just over the years and stuff. So we don't have any counter space is the tricky thing. We have one counter corner that we use for all of our like cooking, and I have a corner for my baking stuff. Kitchen's a little small, but it's okay because it produces yummies. And I'm itching to play Peak again. Ooh, okay, this is like just at 13. I think I'm gonna call this good, actually. I don't, because that is one of my critiques of the original version of this. It felt too big. So I'm gonna call this good. So that's for how far back it is in the back. So let's see how far across it is. The 3DS is so pretty, oh my god. The aqua, I've never, like, nothing ever has made a color like the aqua blue on the original 3DS. Colors have never looked this good since. I don't know what Nintendo put specifically in their entire, like, DS, DSi, 3DS, new 3DS lineups where the colors were always, like, delicious, salivating. I do love the Switch, I do love the Joy-Cons, but I like the pastel like look and the neon look they go for most of them, but if they had like a metallic or like a glittery type of polish over them, oh my gosh, like I want to look at a Joy-Con and have the urge to like eat it, you know? I would eat this. I want to eat my Switch. It makes me sad. It makes me a bit sad. But I already talked about that in my 3DS video. It's nothing new that the 3DS and Wii U, despite not doing well, had tons of aura, and the Switch, despite doing amazingly, just doesn't have as much aura compared to those consoles. I think unfortunately that's how it goes, is you have to like really minimalize and simplify to get the most people in. Unfortunately, sometimes having like too big of a character will turn the common people away. Okay, so running across is 8 seconds. So let's see. Okay, this is almost exact. This is almost exact. I'm gonna leave the width as is. That ended up being perfect. So this will be this entire space we're working with as our like default. I'm actually gonna turn it, what's the blue grid material they have called? Yeah, just give me that. Let me steal it real quick. I'm gonna put the blue grid material on for the ground, and then I want to, even though that's kind of the inverse. Actually, no, I changed my mind. I will leave this orange, and we will do the castle stuff in blue. I'm silly. The Wii U. Oh my goodness. I love my Wii U. It's starting to die. It's starting to die. It crashes every time I play Wind Waker HD, which is my favorite Zelda game. So it hurts. I'm glad they do have Wind Waker on like the Switch 2 on the GameCube emulator now. So I have been replaying it there and I've been happy. And I do agree the original art direction is better. They kind of overshaded some stuff in the HD version, but I really love. I think the HD version is my favorite though. They did keep a lot of the original art direction intact, I honestly thought, but still made it look modern at the same time. Like, it still holds up. The original, of course, holds up, but I think the HD version will hold up for even longer. And I need them to port it. DBD on the Wii. Playing killer with motion controls, that's a very scary thought. Okay, we're not done timing stuff yet. Let me time how long it takes to run across. Actually, do I need to time it? I do. I will mess this up if I don't time it right. So walking from here to here is 3 seconds. So let's just walk from here to the edge. Oh, I hit lap instead of, oh my gosh, restart. No, not lap, I hate the iPhone stopwatch sometimes. So like right here, I think is where the edge of the fortress would be. Right, like boop. Okay, that seems about right. Alright, so our overall fortress blueprint will take place within these bounds, and then the wide field part will be the rest of this. I've done all I need to do. Stream over. We've done the blockout. I'm free to go. Let me pull up our Miro board now, and I'm gonna put it to the side so I can look at that. I think I want to start with going ahead and tackling this fortress part here. So I guess let me start from the ground level up. Let me click into our blockout level as well now, so now it's official blockout time. For now, I'm gonna put these static mesh cubes just without any textures, just like the white one, down for any like vista or blocking elements that aren't really necessarily related to gameplay, but like the back part behind the fortress here has more like castle stuff. It's not related to gameplay at all. It's just like they put basically instead of putting an invisible wall, they put a giant fortress behind you to let you know you can't go back there, bud. You're not that guy. Let's just make it... Oh, we have to figure out how tall we want everything to be too. That's why we'll start from the bottom up. For now, I'll just keep this back here. And then... Let's see, so let me make... Grab this cube actually. Drag you over here. Welcome home, welcome home. Just gonna make it a block wide. The walls I think are even thinner than this, but let me quickly look at... Where's content? Where's our medieval walls? I want to make sure however thick those walls are, we make our blockout pieces. But I think these are a little thicker too, so that's not a... I just want to... Where are my walls? That's not the right... Where's my brick walls? Oh, stone wall thick. I think these were what we were using, yeah. But these are slightly... These are like twice the size of what I want. Or wait, they have this one. Okay, yeah. This works. This is perfect. That is what we will use. So I will keep it one block. And I have on here that this front piece covers most of the front area. I need to orientate this the same way that our paper design is before I get too confused. I hear the cats. I hope they're behaving. We're watching Mocha, my parents' cat, and she keeps walking by our cat, Artie. And she's doing the, like, I'm not touching you thing. Or she'll, like, shimmy right by him. Like, as close as she can. And, like, gurgle at him. But she technically won't hiss. And she technically isn't touching him. But she gets, like, as close to. And, like... as annoying as she can be, and then my cat he just screams and like starts hitting her. He doesn't have a lot of patience. We might have forgotten to teach him that, but what are you doing? Okay, they're hitting each other now. I think they're gonna get along great. This it's just a couple nights we're watching her, but you know what? I think they're gonna be best pals. What could go wrong? I need to figure out how big we want some of the doorways, is what I'm realizing. Let me put a different... I'm actually gonna block in the doorways for now, just so we can measure it. Let me find a different material. I can make the doorways blue as well. 'Cause yeah, red doesn't have a grid on it. I feel like the doorways are fairly... The entryways, at least the front one, is pretty large. I was saying if my partner took when the cats are not. I think he just opened the door to be like. The cats are just sitting there like grumpily staring at each other because every time I look over, it's like, you're not misbehaving, are you? And they're just like. Cats are so silly. Okay, I'd say this front entrance here is like probably too wide of whatever we want to make the standard doorway. Doors have a bit of a low ceiling too. What are the cats saying? They're speaking nonsense now. They're scaring me. Actually, before we get into the height stuff. Because I just like copied this over and assumed it would be the height. Actually, since it's from there, it probably is, but let me go ahead. Let's make a ramp. Let's make the dimensions for our ramp first. Before anyone does anything else. Okay, so yeah, we want it to be about 1/3 of this width. Can I control the width? No, I don't want to do that. Okay, through the top point I can control the width. Maybe 5 across? That doesn't seem bad. If we do that. Maybe 6 across. Like, it doesn't have to exactly be 1/3 for our rendition. But yeah, these ramps are pretty wide in the game. Alright, and then if we like pulled this back from the wall. Actually, you know what, it's fine. So yeah, we'll make them 6 wide, and then for the height, yeah, let's measure up to this. Actually, go see the ramps. Do they have a little landing space, or do they just go directly straight to the top? They go directly to the top. No, no little square piece or anything. So we just do that, make it steep. Just want it to go up here. Oh, we need to put a nav mesh in here. Let me put a nav mesh in here. A nav mesh is what allows the enemies to navigate the space. My first college assignment specifically based around using combat and like placing combat points, with if you were to take away one thing that day, the only thing they'd want you to take away was like how to place a nav mesh, and that was the one thing I didn't do on that assignment. I remember I was like, Yeah, it's crazy. I just like I baked the nav, I placed all the combat points, like I followed the video, like everything should have been working. And then my friend's like, that's weird because like you have the nav mesh, right? And I'm like, I see where I messed up. Something went wrong along the way. Let me see how this feels. Does this give me the same feeling of playing Kid Icarus? Yeah, this feels like the right steepness. Okay, so if this height works, then back to this situation. With which what the hay is happening? Huh? Is that too narrow? I want it to be smaller. That's probably the height. That still is a bit too tall. Like this. Okay, I think this doorway is the good metrics for the normal one, so I'm going to group this real quick and different sub. Oh, I was still in gameplay. No. There. So I'm gonna go ahead and like save an instance of that over there. But for the front entrance, I want to make it a little different. I want to make the ceiling a bit lower, and I want to make it again like twice as long. Is that it? Can I still? You can jump and hit your head, give yourself a concussion. Yeah, I think for the first floor though, we'll have it be wider, but much lower down. That's what I want to do for that entrance. We'll still keep that there. Go ahead and lock. There will be this little space here is where you will run in, and there'll be like a little jump pad back here. I think the spacing on that's correct. So now, what's the spacing on the right side look like? Because we're gonna have another ramp around here that goes up. And then there's a little bit of space next to it. Just like that. This is hidden right behind the. Okay, I see how our metrics are coming together now. So we're gonna need one of you. This will basically be right here. Lined up with this. We don't want the edge to be that close there, so we'll pull it back to right here. That should work. I'm just mumbling. This is how I really do block out. So if you're wanting to like know what the process is like, it's a lot of mumbling about the cubes and then like just shifting one over and be like no, that's ruined everything. What have I done? Ah, that's ruined everything. Snap a little smaller. A little smaller than that. There we go. Alright, there we go. We've got like half of the bottom of the walls up. This is exciting stuff, you guys. Trust me. Okay, so let's block out this side here with the little like jump pad cubby. In fact, let me run to that in the map. So there's another doorway over here. Actually, let me position this ramp just right. So when you're running from this side, it's kind of more like over here. And then there is another ramp. Goes up. And it's right here? No, that's not right. Or is it? I'm going to guess that this ramp is more over here than I originally thought. And this one is a little further in than I thought as well. But let me walk around in the level. Why are they attacking me? I put that on easy! Let me walk around in the level. Okay, so from this point right here. Okay, yeah, this is correct. So you can see the bottom part of both of these, and there's a little hallway through the middle. Now, do I have the spacing vertically correct? This would actually be right about here, then. So now that's in. Let me put up some other walls. this all the way to the back. Perfect. Right, there's no entryway on the bottom there. I don't think so. That means we're good. And I think according to my stuff here, so we want to have it show like the little bottom part of the ramp here, maybe just like one cube. That way you know there's a ramp there. Yeah, this actually just blocks up that part. This goes a little, and you go like that. They're just like 1 point too much. There we go. And then this is all filled up. It's starting to level. It's starting to be a level. Holy shit. Level detected. Then it's the same type of deal over here where this wall will block off everything else all the way to that part of the level, but let me rotate this around real quick. Oh my gosh, I hear my cat starting stuff. My cat's trying to start a fight. Where do we want to put this little thing for the jump pad? Like right there's fair. Can they stop killing me? I'm trying to examine the level. So yeah, this little piece goes all the way to here. Just like that. I'm so excited to bring this to life. Why would it do this? Fine for now. That's fine for now. Just keep that there. What's going on, please? There we go. Okay, so this is like pretty much, this is what this is all there is to the ground floor. This is it. Once I have the once I have this little jump pad corner in, which looks like it's surrounded by like all walls on all fours, like kind of a square back here. So let me actually, let's see. How far back can you go behind the jump pad? Not that far at all. Pretty much right where I have it. We'll rotate this. Put it all the way to the edge here. Yep, and this will be our little, this is our little corner. Then we will build these up. I forget what floor it ends at, so I don't want to overbuild it. We'll just keep extending it as we go up, but I know it at least has this blocker right here. There we go. Do I even have the jump pads over here? I don't, because they can be kind of a pain. So we're gonna put down a cylinder. Do we have anything pink? Ooh, glowy pink. Wow. Wow, that brings the space together. So now I know there's a jump pad right there. And this we shouldn't need the marker anymore, but I'm just gonna move it under the level for now. Let me run around the space on my own, what we have so far. So yeah, low ceiling. Ramps as I imagined them. Okay, this is the size that I would expect. This is the correct scale. So I've been taking my time on this ground level here to make sure we get the scale right now so we can build on top of this instead of getting to the top and being like, actually this isn't gonna work out. I think we can work with this. I need to add a blocker right here, but this is coming along. We just haven't done a fresh block out in a while on the channel, so I'm excited. That's why I wanted to do like a weekend stream to kick things off and get like the heavy lifting done. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be so fun. Okay, that is the ground level. Now we go up to the second and third level. So let me take the jump pad real quick and just curiosity see where does it spit you out. That's that gap right at the very, very top. Fascinating, fascinating. How long has it been already? Hour and a half. And I kind of blabbed for the first half hour, so we're still doing good on time. I'm gonna stream for another 2.5 hours, I'm thinking, unless we do... Once we do like an initial blockout pass on this, then we'll probably add like a little bit of spawners and like see people run around if we have time. So if we finish that up sooner, and we'll wrap up sooner, but if it's taking us longer, we'll stream a lot longer too. I just want the initial pass of this done today. Okay, I know what- oh, I know what else we need. There is a little, there's a little spot here, there's a little, like, balcony. Just, like, overlooking stuff. It's more, it's kind of just, like, around here, I want to say. Maybe we'll move it more like here. And then its other pillar is like right up against the edge. So maybe we'll even just shift it all the way over here. And how deep is it? That's probably about right as well. So we might have to adjust this depending on where our ramps are going to be our leading kind of metric here. So we'll see where stuff ends up. Wow. Let's do something like that. It's nothing fancy, but look at that dimension. Wow. Okay, but that's there. There's actually, I'm not sure how structurally sound this fortress actually is, because there is a lot of like open space on the second floor here. But let's go ahead and let's put a ceiling on this. I have a phobia of putting like ceilings on things. But let's go ahead and seal this up so we can work on the second floor. Actually, I wonder where the ceilings kick in for everything else. For the ramps, at least. Let me reload the level. See, I want to see when... I almost have a feeling that the ramps are like completely open like this. That's what my gut's telling me, is that they're pretty open and you can jump down, but let me double check. Yeah, they're pretty open. You can pretty much jump nearly to the bottom, but not exactly the very bottom of the steps. Which is where we have that one now, so let's just obey that law right there. Go. Alright, that all checks out. Reads as normal. I'm gonna sneeze. Alright. Blocking out the second level now. So let's start with the ramps, of course. We have our 2 ramps going down. Or 3 ramps going down. Now we have 3 more going up. One ramp is going to be unique and have its own kind of measurements here, because it'll be a bit smaller both width-wise and also height-wise. It will be kind of like a halfway ramp. So these are what? Damn, how tall are you? These are about 5 high, so we'll probably make it like 2.5 high. And it's kind of its unique 3rd level. That's not a full, it's more like a 2.5 space. But let's add the ramps that go up to the roof level. Maybe. Unreal. Unreal. A little bit of that. Put you over here. Yeah, they lie like right next to each other. But that seems about right. Yeah, it's kind of a narrow way to get across. getting a lot of Pokemon music in the queue today. I'm not mad about it. It could be because I said the word Pokemon and all my data is probably compromised because of technology. But hey, if the algorithm's gonna work, I guess it's fine. Okay, so those are where our ramps going to the upper floor are, which seems about right. Can you run in between them? I fell off the building, but I think actually there's a wall blocking that I didn't actually catch in my paper design. But I don't think you can fully run between the space. I think they just wall it off. Yeah, I think what happens is we just have a wall right here. So yeah, this kind of forms just a little corner that you can walk through here, but you can't like go behind the ramps or anything. That looks right, that all looks right. So let's add this fun little half ramp. So we'll make it it's like right here. We'll make it 3 wide then. Or wait, we're gonna have a wall right here. I guess we'll make it 2 wide? Damn, this ramp gonna be tiny. Let's do the height. Let's take it all the way down to here, I suppose. And yeah, if we're gonna have a wall with the one width there. Where does the ramp? So we have it go all the way here. This one does have a little like landing place. But where in relation to the— can they stop killing me? Where in relation to the rest of the ramp does the ramp ramp? I just want to say like halfway through it. Damn. That might be— I feel like that might be too steep for what we have. I mean, if Nav will still go up it, I don't see the harm. It is— okay, this is a bit narrower than I— actually, you know what? I'll be damned. This is a pretty narrow— I take it back. I just walked on it in the game. This is a pretty narrow thing in the game. This might actually be the correct dimensions. I'm like, that seems too small. And I like just walked up to it in the same area and I'm like, well, that's what they ordered. I do think I'll continue like this, since it's kind of like a halfway little thing too. I'll apply the gray to like this cube, so we know it's not like a separate layer. I'm making sense, I'm making sense. slightly, yeah, have this end up slightly off. There we go. Oh, because I pulled it from the one underneath, which is janky. Oh my gosh. I'm trying to look at the map and I keep getting darkness cast on me, which makes it a bit difficult. Okay, I think this platform's like super thin. It's like maybe half a cube. Like it suddenly just turns into, yeah, it suddenly just turns into paper thin stuff. Let's see, and then how much does it? I'd say it goes out about as long as the ramp is. We'll do like 4 cubes. Let me just scale it up here. Nope, not there apparently. What? Oh, do I have lock on? Yeah, I do. It's like, what is happening in the... There we go. And then for the width, to add for that 1 and then 2 on the other side. So I guess we'll make that 5. But actually, does it cross? Is it as wide as that entire ramp? It is, it is. Okay, so it's a lot wider than I thought. Since we made these ramps 5 across. I guess we'll make this 9 then. Make it a little longer. Which I'm fine with. I'm fine with this being as such. Make this as wide as the ramp so we can put the wall in still. How long do we want to? Do we make this 9 now? Maybe? Yes, this looks right. This looks right. Now let's pop this wall back up. Or wait, I want this to be 8. Right? Yeah. Over a little too much. That looks all right to me. There is a doorway up here, so let's just do that before finalizing that wall's width. Actually, I think it's pretty much there, actually. Perfect. That's what we've got so far. So let's see, we're about halfway through the stream now, so I'm gonna do another quick BRB, roll some ads, grab some snacks, and stretch out. I think we'll be able to get a good first pass of both this, and I think we can. The field, we're just gonna put 2 little islands and then just a bunch of random cover. So that won't take us nearly as long. We don't have to be nearly as precise as we are with the actual building right here. I feel like we'll be able to get a first pass of this done for sure. So I'm gonna BRB. We'll be right back. back. I was gonna grab Mocha and hold her up to the camera, but she took one look at me and walked the other way, so. No Mo. She did not want to be involved in today's stream. Maybe the next one. Yeah, if you're just tuning in or coming back from the break, we are currently blocking out another arena from Kid Icarus Uprising and kind of remaking it in Unreal 5. If you've played, maybe you can guess which one this is already just by... If you played it, if you didn't play the arena mode a lot, you might probably blank select this stage, but I feel like even just this bottom layer, if you were addicted to Kid Icarus Uprising, you might know which one it is already. It's got a pretty, yeah, looking at the pieces, I'm like, these are pretty paper thin, and, like, the realism, I guess, part that gets drilled into a lot of, like, even at the blockout stage nowadays is it realistic? Like, would a building really be able to hold that up realistically? And looking at this blockout, absolutely not. But it's just, there's so much fun in the simpler maps, sometimes. Like, Forgotten City was another, like, pretty simple map to block out, but it brought me so much joy doing that. That's why I kind of enjoy doing these studies. It's just living in the moment. I gotta restart the map again. Gotta see. So I think this front part here, so we do need to put walls along this side, I guess, to make it connect a bit more, but this front part is actually mostly open. Like, not even like, oh, there's at least, like, you know, half cover along the entire thing. No, it's like, it's just pretty wide open. So, I think the wall here does go all the way to the corner before the balcony starts, so... Right here, snap this down. Then we got another what? And here we got another 1, 2, 3, 5, 10, 11, 12, 13? 13 plus whatever. Let's set this to 20 then? That should take up the whole space. Open there. Cause yeah, this doesn't spit out until the roof layer, so this upcoming one. So this is just completely blocked off here. I guess we could put the half cover down. Yeah, did I put in the template thing how tall I wanted to be half cover? I really should add that over here. I am gonna move this into the template level actually. I think I've just been doing like, I think standard is like 2.5 is usually my go-to for cover, but I could probably just do, it's not even good half cover in here, so I could probably just do 2. But do I want to do that? That's the moral question. Hear my cat causing trouble. And the cover is pretty thin too. Yeah, it's like half the size here. Okay, that's already too much. That's already too much. I kind of wanna make it functional cover. It's kind of just like knee height, honestly. You can't crouch in Kid Icarus Uprising, but I think I want this to be functional since this is still kind of based off the shooter game template. And we're using Lyra, and I haven't polished Lyra enough because it annoys me. So yeah, there's a wide piece here, then there's a little gap about equivalent to where the doorway is, and then there's a smaller piece of cover on the other side. So I think like doing that there, and then we do something a little smaller over here. I think that looks about right. And that's the second and third 2.5-ish floors here. That's pretty much it. It all seems right to me. So this kind of doesn't look as put together as when we slap the roof on, which we're gonna do now. Wow. Let's see, where are the ramps for the next part? Just go ahead and start lining this up with our existing ramp space. Can I still... Okay, with the ceiling like that, I didn't think about this. I can still use this, right? Oh no. You have to lower the height of this even more. That's fine, that's fine. Down to that. I expected it to be a bit of a like tight squeeze here. That works, that works. Yep, that is still completely fine. We can keep the same like ceiling height that we've been used to. That should work. I just slide this over to the front. Oh, it's all coming together now. What the hell? No, it's not. Why? Now it's all coming together. So we still need a small portion right here, even though I want to leave the ramps mostly open. I want a little bit of coverage back here. Just a tiny little bit. I should probably pull up. Probably look at the map for the exacts, but to keep it the same as what we've done with the other areas, that feels right. And then we are going to leave this open here at the top because this is where you hop back out of the jump pad up to the roof. So this is correct. Might need to extend this wall out like one more, that's fine. I really need to just get some actual blockout tools. The Lyra ones are pretty... They're not the worst, but they are pretty bad. But we've already blocked out like 2 other maps using them, so... what can you do? That's working. Let's just do something like that. Okay. Is that actually how it looks on the top level? Let's also place our upper ramp. We have one right between these two. Okay, I think there's a spot right here. I think that is a walkable little area. Also, I think there's a little spot behind this. Aha! I see. There's a little area back here that you can walk on as well. That's correct. Ow. Who's hitting me? Oh, that's right. There is... So we should mark the doorways too. There's a tiny little... This tiny little sliver back here. It does let you like scoot across I remember now. Yeah, there is a walkway. There is a little room up here that has 2 doorways out of it, so we'll mark those. Also, hello there, Crimson Surge. Doing alright. We're remaking some arenas from Kid Icarus Uprising and Unreal Engine 5. We've done the Forgotten City and the Spiral Tower maps already, so today I wanted to tackle the Ancient Fortress one, since it's kind of a combination of the assets and stuff we used in the previous 2 maps. But yeah, we blocked those out on the channel, kind of at the start of the year and then in the spring. So we haven't done a channel blockout thingy in a minute, hence why I think I got the craving to do it. I think it's also been a minute since I did like blockout stage stuff at work as well, so I've just been craving to do blockout stuff recently, so I wanted to have a little game dev weekend. We looked back at some like early career work I did yesterday, and then we started the concept work for this map. and recreating it on Friday's stream, so wanted to end off the weekend with actually getting to my favorite part of level design, the blockout stage. It would be a shame to have a whole weekend to do game dev stuff and not get to my favorite part of it all. Can they stop attacking me? I've just got a 3DS pulled up here to like walk around the map, but all the enemies just keep jumping me. I have it set to easy so they won't do that, but I think they're out for blood. Okay, let me see how much is the difference between the end of the ramp and where the walkway is. This is pretty accurate for where the first doorway is, and the second one, this room's not that wide, so it's like just in here. It's like it's smaller than that, so it's just in here and it's shifted over like this way. So they're not lined up with each other. And then it's a very thin walkway back here. Let's outline it now that we've got the doorways in place. But yeah, I probably have some stuff in Lyra that I do want to tailor the system to suit the gameplay. The gameplay of Kid Icarus Uprising, it is a lot of ranged weapons. But also, I feel like in PvP, there's a heavy emphasis on melee as well, and Lyra, as is, does not emphasize melee enough for my current needs. And I feel like you're a little too squishy. You're a little too squishy and you get headshot a little too often in Lyra, at least when remaking like a Kid Icarus arena where you can get sniped across the map, because that's a big feat to accomplish in Kid Icarus Uprising with the control scheme. You should be able to snipe across the map because like you're going against some insane crazy person and should be scared. But in Lyra, where it's like based on like shooter deathmatch PvPs, you don't really want a design like that. So what I ended up doing on like the other two maps is I did the initial blockout of it, and then I made a different sublevel called like cover revisions, and I added pieces of cover that weren't in the original 3DS game, but were things I wanted to do to accommodate to how Lyra plays. And sometimes that's a genuine thing that you have to do if you're working on a project that is remaking an existing game, is maybe you won't get the controls like exactly the same, intentional or not. So you have to ask, like, do we want to keep the level design one-to-one exactly as it was before, or are there some things that we need to change to suit everything a bit better? So that's what we ran into here with Lyra. I do want to go in and tweak the values a bit. I already did make some, basically the only major thing I've changed is I've added some of like the master field like impact stuff for the fractures and like the geometry collections. We put that on the grenade so that way you can have some dynamic exploding stuff in the other two levels. We won't get back to any of that probably for a few more weeks, since we're just in the blockout stage here, but once we start doing art pass stuff, we can look about adding any of that into this map as well. Oh my gosh, I think Mocha snuck up behind me. I hear her. You guys won't be able to see her because she's a black cat, but she's in the little sushi shop that my cat has. And I can hear her destroying it. She's destroying his sushi business. It's a black void there. It's because she's a black cat. If she opened her eyes, you could see her. But she is intensely munching away. Oh, I hear my cat yelling across the room at her too. He's like, hey! She's got my cat like so stressed. She kind of shows up and crashes the party for him a little bit, I would say. She like sits in all of his boxes. My cat doesn't like to show it, but he loves my boyfriend and has started to become like very possessive of him. And then Mocha, she comes over and she is such a flirt. She's such a flirt and she'll just like sprawl all over my partner. And my cat just, he'll loaf there across the room and I swear there's tears in his eyes. Cats are a little dramatic. They won't actually talk to each other. They just kind of gurgle and like hiss at each other and then like mean mug each other across the room. There's like incredible lack of communication going on here. Also, thank you for the follow, 3FTV. Much appreciated. Oh, they are incredibly social. They're incredibly sensitive animals as well. Like, my cat's very, very emotional. Which when he's around other people, like, he really... I was kind of really the only person he ever, like, warmed up enough. Which is how I knew my partner was so special, because, like, he let his guard down around him, and I'm like... He's like, oh yeah, cats love me, and I'm like, no, you don't understand. I'm like, this is a huge deal. My cat gets severe social anxiety around people, like you would not believe, but he also needs social interaction. He's just a lad. He's just a little lad, so he needs that social interaction. So his social circle, his circle of trust is very important to him. I don't know if my parents' cat is in that circle. Judging by the way they're glaring at each other, might not be. But yeah, Mocha, she's very social. She loves people. So it's kind of a case of we have a really extroverted cat, and my parents have a really extroverted cat staying with us at the moment. We're cat sitting here for a couple nights, and then my cat is not, he doesn't like to host guests. In fact, I've even joked in this about like, would it be so bad if we got another cat? Even though the games industry is kind of like insane and the world is insane right now. So, like, cats are a financial thing to take on, but would it be so insane to get another one? But the thing is, my cat, he's a bachelor. This is his bachelor pad. He does not want anyone else in it. And he makes that a very strong point to emphasize on the daily. Usually you worry about not wanting to leave your cat at home, but we both work remotely, so he's with us like all the time, and I think that is his dream. That is my cat's dream. He's like, this is nice. So to him he has no need for a friend. He has 2 friends, and that's all he'll ever need. Yeah, it breaks my heart just how many layoffs you see every day. I kept hoping like, maybe next quarter will be the quarter where stuff slows down. Like you keep thinking that, but unfortunately, it just has not slowed down at all. the most important thing I learned to do is, so I was working in the AAA industry from straight out of college, like 2 days after college, and then almost 3 years I spent in like the AAA and AA industry at the same company. I wanted it to be like my forever company. It was really amazing at first, and stuff, and I advanced as a level designer so much. Got a credit, like I was very, very happy. But then stuff started to shift like right before layoffs, and then I got caught in a layoff wave at the start of 2024. Was that what year was it? At the start of 2024, I got caught in a round of layoffs, and then I consider myself very, very fortunate. But this was also with, I applied to like multiple jobs that I was qualified for. Like every single day, I think I applied to hundreds of positions over my time being laid off for 6 months straight. And then was able to find a position working full-time with an indie company on some really cool early access stuff now, and getting to do level design. Again, that was like, I was looking at a variety of things, but my heart is in the world building like scene for sure. Doing blockouts is my favorite thing. But yeah, that's also true. I remember looking for stuff too. I'm like, okay, so if the games industry doesn't work out, I can go into, also thank you for the follow, Kyla Zor. But I remember thinking, okay, if the games industry doesn't end up working out, it's really depressing. I did kind of plot out. I was like, I do have a ton of savings, and I'm like, and I'm gonna have unemployment come in. This is how much I get off of severance, you know? I'm like, so how long can I coast off of savings and still live like with the amount of amenities? And like, I didn't want to like fully like pump the brakes and like live off of just cup noodles and stuff. So I'm like, how much can I live the way I'm living now in my apartment? I mapped out like to the date how long I could live off of like my current budget in my current apartment, and like mapped out the year and the month I could go off of savings. And then every week that passed that got closer to that just gave me overwhelming anxiety while looking for work. So I started to think, well, what if I don't find something in games? Like, I have other skills. What else could I do? Being a level designer specifically does make it hard to just find something else in the games industry. Like, I'm definitely not qualified to apply for artist positions. I think I tried to look at some entry-level QA stuff, but even those, like, were just, like, very competitive and a bloodbath. So I wasn't getting anywhere with that stuff either. And level design stuff, ended up interviewing several places and making it to final rounds, and the feedback was always, you would be a perfect fit for the team, you would be a perfect fit skill-wise, and your experience is there, but we have someone that matches all of that, but they have a few more AAA credits under their belt than you do. And there's no way I can change that. There's no way I can change that, right? I'm like, the only feedback is, yeah, just, you need to, like, be employed more. And I'm like, that's what I'm trying to do. So I remember looking at some video editing stuff and, like, other remote work opportunities and thinking, okay, like, because I had a video editing job in college, and I stream and I make YouTube videos now. So I'm like, I could apply this, you know, in a different setting. And I was trying to look for entry-level stuff in that, something I have done entry-level in before, and I realized it would be hard to get my foot in the door there because every industry is just on fire right now, especially just anything in tech right now is going under the most. To the point where I was even like looking, I'm like, okay, Starbucks has some good benefits. There's one down the road from me. I worked a bagel shop in college. Like, if I were to hit like the last tiny bits of my savings, then I can just go there. And then I realized even part-time jobs are not taking people. Even if they have master's degrees, they're not taking people because of how competitive stuff is. And I'm like, do I need to apply to cafe positions now and start looking now, because it's going to take me several months to find even a part-time position? Like, it was an overwhelming anxiety I had about that. But the positive thing is I was able to find something, and I'm very fortunate, because that isn't always the case for people. But if you need a little bit of hope core, it is possible. And then I also I was really burnt out right before layoffs, and I wasn't getting to do much of what I'm doing right now, just blocking out stuff with cubes. For some of you, this might be like the most boring part of game dev, but this is why I live and breathe game dev. Like, this right here is so therapeutic to me. And this is like my dream that I'm doing right here, and I didn't get to do that on the very last thing I was working on right before layoffs. So I had gone like several months without like actually getting to do the work I wanted to, and I was so focused on trying to hold down my job at work that I wasn't doing any personal work outside of it. So during layoffs, I got to stream more, and I got to do exclusively personal work. But in a way, I think that kind of healed something in me, to be able to do my personal work again and be like, these are the types of games I want to make, these are the types of levels I want to do, these are the types of skills I want to have in my back pocket, as well. So it kind of healed something in me to take the time and do that. And that is, I think, the advice I would give if you are looking for something, or if you already have something in a creative field, kind of regardless of employment status. My advice would be to make time for personal work, not as like a warning, as a beware just in case unemployment happens to you, not as a warning at all, but more of just a take care of yourself. Don't do so much personal work either that you're burning yourself out and then you get burnt out at your job and it goes back and forth like that. Don't put that amount of pressure on yourself. But if there's a skill you're interested in learning and you're like, oh, but I don't have the time because of work, really try to like give yourself, even if just for a month or two, or just for 5 minutes a day, try to give yourself an outlet to do a little bit of something creative. Because if you keep waiting on, well, one day stuff is going to lighten up at work for me, or one day I'm going to have more time, or if I just did this piece that's more important to my portfolio first, then I'll loop around to this, you're going to find that, like, I started pushing off personal work more and more, and then I found it was like a couple years since I actually seriously sat down and did like, and none of this I even think would go on my portfolio right now, but since I just sat down and gave myself the opportunity to learn, I realized I hadn't really given myself that since college graduation. So that's my advice, is just, if the world's got you down creatively, like, try to find that time to learn what you want to learn and not wait on your bosses to tell you what to do or give you the resources for that. This is fun to watch. I'm glad it's fun to watch. I love placing the cubes. These are kind of my favorite game dev and chill streams to do, because again, this is my favorite part of like what I do professionally. This is my favorite part of what I do for portfolio pieces. I have so many like Unreal projects that have never gone anywhere on my portfolio that are just me blocking out things, but I can promise that they have helped me in some way. They're just like doing brain teasers, like how a writer might write a quick paragraph or something to warm up, or how a musician might place like some scales to warm up before a concert. This is like a brain little warm up for me. It's like, hey, before jumping back into the work week, let me just block out something from my beloved darling Kid Icarus Uprising on the 3DS. That will hopefully be ported to the Switch too. It has mouse controls. It's time. It's time. Yeah, that's the biggest thing I learned from layoffs, because I've seen so many people like go from layoff to layoff, multiple layoffs in the past couple years. So I'm like, I don't know if any company will ever be my forever company. Now I've got like this trauma and this fear, but I'm more prepared because of it, and I'm trying to find more value in myself and my career in its own thing, instead of just tying it to a paycheck. Now a paycheck's nice because I want to live, so a paycheck's great. I'm not taking any importance away from that, because that's all we're all here doing what we gotta do. Paycheck is lovely, but I think learning to tie your self-worth, for me, I have a hard time. It's very connected to my career for me, but starting to try to connect it more into your personal loves and your personal hobbies, and your personal work, rather than just like where your career is at the moment. Huge lesson I think I've learned from, again, I've worked on AAA stuff, I've been at a AA company, I'm at an indie company right now, and then I've done like small indie, like solo and smaller group indie stuff. So I've been across all like the levels of intensity, I guess you could say, and that's just, I wouldn't put your heart and soul into the game, but don't take like all the harmful things that happen to you in your career, don't take it personally and don't take it to heart for you as a person. Leave that at work. Leave that at work. Live your best life. Oh, this isn't a sealed roof. I'm like, look, I've been spinning around looking at this. I'm like, why doesn't this look right? There's a hole in this roof. I've been played. Let's make these too wide. And I think this would be like 3.5 probably. It's gonna be. Actually, that might be too small of a drop down. Man, that might be too small. I think it's more like, it might actually just be 1 cube wide. Yeah, you never know when skills from your personal work will kick in. Like, I like to do a lot of set dressing for fun on like previous stuff, career and personal work. I've never described myself as a set dresser because I'm not an artist, as you guys can see. I'm not an artist at all, but just knowing like how to make a space filled with clutter and less empty while not intruding on gameplay. I'm doing a whole YouTube video about that. And how it relates to theme parks like Disneyland. I promise the topics will connect together in the video. I promise. But yeah, just having that as a skill and being able to hop in and do that on projects. Like, I think I did a lot of set dressing in like my first update that I've done with this current company I'm at. Currently working on a project, a SCP-5K project that's in early access. So I got to do a lot of set dressing on like one of the first updates I joined to kind of like spruce up an area and to get accustomed to the project. And like that, just knowing how to do that, even though it's not what I mainly do and it's just stuff I goofed around with doing when I was bored in projects, that came in handy for a title. I showed you guys yesterday with Sonata Theory how horrible my scripting was in the past, but just knowing how to get your foot in the door with blueprint scripting and being willing to improve upon it. Now I do a lot of mission design, career-wise as well. It kind of goes hand in hand with level design for me now, especially on smaller teams. It's like expected that the level designer doing the layout would also be doing the combat and the scripting for the level alongside it. Sometimes when you're on a bigger project, you'll have people that just do combat, people that just do missions, people that just do the layout stuff. But when you're on a smaller project, you kind of have to wear many hats. So that has ended up coming in handy because I just have worn so many hats in the past. So yeah, you never know when just goofing around in some side projects will like come up and be helpful to you again one day. Learning's important. I say that and I think, man, I miss college, because I do. And then I remember the communal bathroom situation I had senior year, and I'm like, I don't miss everything in college. I miss a lot, but I hope those girls are having an unpleasant time today, because what in the world was that Hunger Games situation I was in senior year of college? I should have rented an apartment. I don't know why. We were all so desperate to stay on the housing plan, and they took my friend group and I, we all lived in like an apartment together our junior year because they had some apartments like available for upperclassmen on the housing plan. So we were like, oh awesome, we'll get an apartment together, and like that was a great year. COVID started, so we like all hunkered down in the apartment and stuff, and we didn't have to worry about like going onto campus as much. We just camped out together for the last few months of that year. But then they took the apartments off of the option for our senior year. They took all of them off. Except for a few, but we like couldn't all stay together. There were no like floor plans that accommodated us. So I wish we just split. I wish we just split and went separate ways and just chose where to hang out like on rotation. But I guess we didn't because COVID. So we're like, if we don't live together, it's going to be really hard to ever see each other. But for other exterior reasons, it did become hard to see each other senior year anyway. But yeah, we were like, let's just all we all want single dorm rooms, so let's just all get them in this like one building that's kind of more downtown, this one dorm, and sure, they have communal bathrooms, but how bad could it be? Because we all kind of had communal bathrooms for our freshman year already. Once you have your own toilet in college, do not go back to communal bathrooms. Do not do it. You may think, I've done it before, I can do it again. You can't. And you deserve better than to do it to yourself. I don't care how close you are with your friends. Go get your toilet. I saw things in this bathroom that some of you may be eating. Some of you may be having a good day. I will not pass the wisdom on to you of what I saw. But I saw stuff. I saw things. But anywho, aside from that traumatic point, I think we got the fortress part of Ancient Fortress done. I'm double checking everything, but it is a pretty simple layout. I think this is all of it. So it looks a little, if you've played Kid Icarus Uprising, it might look a little More sparse and empty, one, because this is a blockout, so I'm just focusing on the structural pieces and the pieces relevant to gameplay right now. It doesn't have all of that clutter, it doesn't have any materials on it. And two, it doesn't have any vista elements, so like where this white cube blocking the background is, that vista is actually more like fortress set pieces in the background. So when you're playing, it kind of gives the illusion that you're part of a much larger fortress, but what I've blocked out is the only playable part of said fortress. Because yeah, everything from this point, like afterwards, that we might put in, we're not going to put that in even until just like the art pass, so it might be another month before we see it on the channel. But yeah, it's just purely visual. And having to do with where to draw player eye to make this more spectacular for battle, but it doesn't have gameplay importance. This is, oh man, we probably need to put some point lights in there. It's a little dark. I think we need some lighting in here. Let's put some lighting in. It's a lit. I won't do any fancy lighting, but let's put a few point lights in. We'll make them like warm colored, because this level does have like little torches on the walls. I don't really want it to be bright. Or just, it's there. Definitely need one back here by the ramps, otherwise you'll never know they're there. It's odd to picture level design and mission design being two separate roles. You definitely have to be, communication is very important for that. But yeah, I also recommend like order of operations should be mechanics, or at least having the basics of the mechanics down so that you can block out the metrics for that. Like even just changing, I've been on projects where they've been like, what if we removed sprint? What if like we increase the range of this attack? What if we pulled back the camera more? All of that can ruin the layout of a level. It will suddenly feel like very out of place if you just go and change mechanics like that on a whim. If you're doing like solo dev and you're aware of the risk, that's fine. But yeah, when you're working on a team, you can't really change as much of those mechanics for level design. And I always feel like I'm just like a crazy person when I start freaking out over that stuff. Whenever I hear on a project, I feel like I'm screaming about the end times. I'm like, no, you can't do that. You don't know what you're doing. But it's because if you don't accommodate for that in the layout, it will feel like it's made for a different game. Because technically, if it's made for a different moveset, it is. And it will feel off. So definitely get your mechanics down first, then get like your layout and what you want the level design, kind of like your level design Bible to be. And then you do art after. I know everyone that saw the GTA 6 leaks way back when so intelligently pointed out that art is the first thing done in a game. You can obviously art a level that's not there, obviously, as the internet pointed out with those. But yeah, You can start multiple things and have multiple things going at the same time, but in terms of where like each department is, gameplay should be a little further, should be the front runner, and then level design should be coming in hot after that, and then art should come in after all of that. Like starting to do art direction is definitely, and like creating assets is definitely something you can do from the start, but like doing the actual art passes and stuff, it is beyond stressful to like redo an art pass after you've already done one, and like you need to change the level design again. So it's better just to playtest and figure it out as much as you can. Why did I make these all? I'll make these static. A blockout gym. Yes, yes, a blockout gym. You see, I kind of failed to do that on this one because I was just making stuff. But I do have this little template level. This is like the default Lyra template. But I've been like sprinkling in other stuff and other tools that I've found from other levels. I've been sprinkling them in over here as we go. So whenever I start a new map, I can pull up that template. And I can just reference stuff from there. Which is what you would do with an official, like a little blockout gym, is you could just like have that sub-level brought up but unloaded so that you can see it in the editor but it won't show up in gameplay. And you can see all the tools you have to work with. But yeah, all hail the blockout gym. Okay, lighting wise, I do know how to light, and it's not like this. Lighting wise, it does look ass, but you can see it. You can see the level now, and that's all you have to do sometimes. If you are new to like level design and you're trying to like show stuff off to other people and stuff, and you're making an interior level in Unreal with the like dynamic skybox and stuff, do a quick, just drop a few point lights down. It doesn't have to look pretty, it can look pretty ugly. Yeah, it can look pretty ugly, but you want people to at least see it. So just drop some point lights in. You don't have to be a master artist to, you don't have to obsess over it, but just make sure that you can see your level. There's also, if you want to get a little more advanced, there's settings you can change like in engine itself, and you could do a post-process volume. You could like change some settings on that to make just the level light up a bit better in general. But if you're new to Unreal and you're like, I want to show my work to somebody, but you can't see when you actually walk through it, just drop some point lights in. Quick and dirty solution. If you want to put something on your portfolio and you want to look a bit fancier, then look into those other options. Learn how. I think it's good for all level designers to learn how to do a basic lighting pass. Again, it doesn't have to be production art quality at all, but just learning the basics of how to light a level, and what your potential is. That way you know kind of where to take it in the future. But yeah, I think we got the fortress part of the fortress down now. But there is a little bit more to this map, so I'll bring the Miro board back up. So we completed the little fortress at the bottom here, and that's the stuff you see here in these screenshots. So like that, like all this stuff here, you can see it now in the map, which is pretty cool. But that's just half of the map. The other half of the map is admittedly a lot more boring. It's a flat. There's no verticality in the rest of the map. It's a flat plane. And then there's just some sparse cover here or there. But we're gonna make the level accurately today is the goal, and then probably on Friday morning streams. So if you're new and popping in here, I usually do stream on the weekends, but I don't usually do game dev on the weekends. Like I just got a Switch too, so we've been playing the crispier versions of Tears of the Kingdom. We've been playing some Mario Kart, and I want to play some Donkey Kong Bonanza in August. But I do like to do my game dev streams. I'm trying out Friday mornings now for them before I actually clock into my level design job. So just kind of a way to wake me up for the end of the week. So I think we'll do like a cover pass where we go in and we improve upon the existing cover. So it won't be one-to-one with the original level anymore, but it will work better for Unreal Lyra. Jump scared with the music. Yeah, I just shuffle Game Chop's music for these chill streams. Because I want to listen to like game music, but Nintendo music doesn't have a desktop player. Sometimes I just play stuff directly off my Switch through like Smash Ultimate, but sometimes that's like too high energy. Like sometimes Smash Ultimate just has like some really hype bops, but then I get distracted. Then I get even more distracted than I usually do. So I just put on the chill shuffles. Yeah. So these little there's like these little 2 elevated kind of rocks, islands, plains on the map. I'm just gonna make them cylinders for now because we'll probably replace it. I do want to replace it with like an actual landscape piece potentially. I think this would be like just height-wise just under this. Oh, I eyeballed it. That's what I want. That's what I want. Like I eyeballed it nearly perfectly. Make it slightly smaller. The Zelda albums and the Sonic albums are my favorite from Game Chops. We'll make it a bit wide like this. Also, I'll pull it back here. There is a bit of distance, like this kind of no man's land area between like the cover bits and getting into the actual fortress itself. And then can I dash up to that point? I can. I think I want to keep that. Can I dash over to here? Ah, just no. Do I want to be able to dash over to that? I don't think you're able to in the original game, so for now I think I'm gonna keep this part empty, but I have a feeling we might want to condense stuff more as we playtest. Because these dead zones are like, they're intense, but they're like risky but not lethal in Kid Icarus Uprising. They're lethal in Lyra. There's just, it's very ranged based, so it's pretty much you're gonna die in Lyra. Which is not fun when you're playtesting it. Yeah, there's 2 little elevated points. Each one of those has... This isn't the actual jump pad, I'm just marking where the jump pad would be. So there's a jump pad at the front there. There's one that goes up to this thing here, and then there's one that goes up over here. So now time for all the little stray pieces of cover. I did mark which pieces of cover were like half cover versus which pieces were full cover. I want to go ahead and just copy this gray material too. Just to kind of emphasize that it is cover. Let's see where to start. So I'll keep this. Let's place half cover down. So we have A little something over here. Then we have stuff at a 45-degree rotation. Further back here. And we do have a full piece of cover, so for the full pieces, let's make those... just 3 tall? That feels too small still to me. Actually, that feels like way too small. I might have to be able to crank these up to 5. Because they're like almost as... Yeah, these tall pieces of cover are like twice the height of the player. Let's crank it up to 5. Oh, wrong value. It didn't undo that. There we go. And that's definitely over twice, but I think I do want to keep them super tall. It also help with fire from up here. So we've got that little layout. Got like a little L piece of half cover right here. We've got a half piece of cover kind of right over by the balcony area. Right here, pretty close. A little thinner than the others. Then for the remaining full pieces of cover, rotate this. Got one pretty close to the jump pad, like maybe like this, so that you can get cover on the way there. Got another one just kind of maybe tilted a little differently. We've got a very thin piece of full cover right here, and it's... where does it line up with like the door? It's like just to the right of the entrance. Where do we have? Which should appear correct. Yeah, it's definitely to the right of the jump pad. I think maybe this little piece and then this piece back here can be further to the left slightly. And then we have another thin piece of full cover. Kind of over here. So we can move this back even further. I think we can move this slightly further and up here. But other than that, this this is all the cover in the field. I looked at all of it. I looked at all of it. And this is what they have. So this is what we're working with. Let's walk around it. Let's walk around it before we judge. So might make these even a bit shorter. Okay, you can like almost dash up to here. So it might not be as bad. I think we'll have time since we've just... This is kind of a... We've just hit the first pass on this entire map. It was a lot simpler than I thought it would be. Oh, I threw the... Oh! So we can add in some spawners then. And we can see if we can get basic combat working. It will probably be really rough because again, I think we need more cover for sure. And I'm also just bad. I work on a lot of arenas. I work on a lot of shooter arenas. Personally and just across my career, I would say like 50% or more of my work is specifically like deathmatch arena design. I'm not good at them. I'm really bad at shooters. I was a console player, so I think that's why I got used to like some of those like console perks to like help with aiming. So mouse and keyboard especially, I'm really bad with mouse and keyboard shooters. Which makes it very hard to play test. I'm like, I don't know how hard this level is because I am incompetent. But that's why it's important to get fresh eyes on your maps as well, and get outsider opinions, because you can't always, even if you do play well, you want your level to accommodate people of all playing skill, usually. Unless you're Elden Ring, in which case you can be as difficult as you want, but... If you're not Elden Ring, then playtesting is probably a good idea. So let's hop into the gameplay level here. Do I have the player starts? I think it's just Lyra player start actually. So let me put some nav links down as... Oh, that's the... Oh, if we want to put the other players in, we've got to do a quick nav pass. Ah. Bleh. I forgot. We've got a little bit of time. Let's get this to like a really simple playable state, and then we will... be able to do more with it. So let's try putting like 6 spawn areas in. Let's put I feel like there's one. This is probably a horrible place to spawn. I'm gonna put one right here. Then let's put some in like each level. Put you in the back here. There's definitely one like over to the right. Like right here that I kept spawning in at. So we'll put one there. Then we'll put one on the roof. Put one in here. And then nav. let's go ahead and just connect these. Excellent. I don't think they'll jump up. So let's go ahead and just set the direction for both ways, just to left to right. And I'm gonna do this on, this causes a lot of nav issues sometimes. I'm gonna do this both under the point links one and under the smart link one. There's a hidden menu here and it will impact how they're using that, but I'll do left to right. Add one over here and basically just kind of copy paste them wherever's needed. Oh, the nav mesh is not... Hold on a minute, the nav mesh is not tall enough. We don't have nav up here, and we really should. So let me... get taller. Oh, another important volume to add is... do I have a kill volume? Yeah, the kill Z volume you do want to add. I'm not gonna put blocking in right now for like around the map because that can get tedious. But I'm gonna put a volume down here that basically says like when you hit it you die, so if you fall off of the map you die and you don't fall forever. It's an incredibly important failsafe to have. Sometimes projects just won't put it in, I think out of like confidence. They're like, no one's possibly gonna get bugged or stuck there. The human will find a way. It's better to be safe than to just always what's going on? It's better to be safe and plan for the eventuality that they could, a player could get stuck anywhere. Is it too thin to have any nav point jump downs? It's probably okay for there. So yeah, we'll probably end up just around, like, just under 4 hours today for stream. Not bad. Usually with these game dev streams, I end up going overtime. It usually takes us longer, especially for following, like, a tutorial video. That will always take longer than you anticipate it will. So I am pleasantly surprised. I've been working on, for anyone that, like, popped in later, been working on building a Beauty and the Beast Lego castle that came in yesterday. 7 hours in, I'm halfway through the build, and I'm ecstatic. It might be one of the more complex Lego ones I've ever done. I think the most complex, like, stress level wise is like the Mario cube. Folding that thing up is like a level of anxiety and patience that I don't think I've reached or will reach in this particular Lego set, but I think that was definitely the most stressful. What is my cat doing? I don't even recognize my cat's voice when he's like grumpy. He'd be speaking something else. When he's happy, he has like a little baby voice. He's like, wah. My cat's grumpy? Good lord. That's not my cat I'm speaking to anymore. All this work, and I know the enemies are just gonna one-shot me. What's my cat doing? Oh my god. Probably shouldn't have these landing to the exact same place. Let me scoot this more over. A little bit of this. All right, not perfect, not perfect. I'm not gonna even worry about the inside point links. Oh, we still need some stuff around here. Damn. Give me one of these. Also, hello, Winter White Tiger. Good to see you. Have you been? And I'm working on remaking some arenas from Kid Icarus Uprising in Unreal Engine 5. So we kind of just finished blockout on the Ancient City arena from that. So we kind of just did a full first pass in one sitting, which feels good. But I do want to try it with, I'm not going to do a full combat pass, I'm not going to do a full like consumable pass on the map today. We'll keep the stream on the shorter side and won't drag it out too much longer, but I do want to run around with some of the enemies on the nav mesh a bit. So just doing some quick nav links, since there is verticality in the level. The enemies will get a little confused if I don't set up the basics for them. They'll probably still get confused, but yeah, I figure we have to see how it feels before calling it a stream. Love that game. I know, I keep joking, it started as a joke, but I think I need to commit to it. I'm going to basically treat this project as like a little sandbox thing. I'm never planning to release it or to monetize off of like any released versions of it, like Nintendo. It's just for educational purposes, Nintendo. What's my cat doing? You guys know how trash my audio was on the last video essay I did. I got a lot of comments that were like, your audio is like horrible, like oh my gosh, like I know, I redid the audio on that video and it still came out bad. It might be because of that my orange cat. he was making demon noises like that while I was recording multiple times. So I had to kind of eventually just work around it. I was like running short on time to do the voice recordings for that too. So just the joys of living with my cats. I love them. I love them. But if you're wondering why the audio sounded extra bad, sometimes it's because you don't want to hear who's in the background. He's singing a little song. But yeah, anyway, I think I'm just gonna keep like remaking arenas, and let's say one day we remade all of the arenas in the game and we got them even to like an art pass, and we fixed up the Lyra system. Like we did everything we wanted to do with the light versus dark mode. Let's say we did all of that, and if Nintendo still hasn't acknowledged Kid Icarus with like a port or a remake or a sequel or a new like game in a new style, if they still haven't acknowledged the Kid Icarus franchise in some way, then we could even move on to doing like some of the story levels and stuff. But yeah, I'm basically planning on we're gonna keep doing stuff occasionally here and there. I do want to do other stream projects as well. Like we are going to hop back into Fortnite Creative in the fall and revisit our Oz Tycoon level from last year. We're gonna like revisit it for this fall as well. So we won't be only doing this project for the rest of my life, but this will kind of be our main like little sandbox thing until Nintendo puts out something new for it. So quite possibly forever. Let's see now if what is my cat doing? If we do this, did it spawn in the others? I see hello, hello, hello. Oh, hello, hello. See, like the open field sucks. How do the grenades work? Ooh, ooh. Let's go. I'm so good at this game. Man, it must suck to spawn out there. Couldn't be me. Oh, I almost jumped. Where's it? Okay, one of them's running inside, I think. Interesting. Oh! You can do trick shots off of the walls. I'm out of ammo. We'll both go down. Okay, this map so far is already fun, even in the first pass stage. Very happy with that. Oh my gosh. My cat! Come here, come here. Come here, boy. This is the man! This is the man! How do I put this on face cam mode? Put this on face cam mode. This is the man that was screaming. What? You suddenly have nothing to say? Please don't kill me. I'm your mom. Please don't kill me. Please. Ooh. Are you okay? He like landed on his hip. Are you okay? Well, he wants attention, but not from me, apparently. Anyhow. I'm gonna have to try tomorrow morning stream grabbing Mocha since we're watching her and putting her on screen. But yeah, small game projects, great for experience. What type of game is it? Oh, I'm so glad I made this cover super tall actually. This reads a lot better already. I didn't even technically just raising the cover bits a little bit and having crouching. I feel like we've solved a lot of the issues I thought we were gonna run into with this blockout. Ooh, RPG fantasy? That's a great genre to work in. I think I do like both playing and I do like working in the fantasy genre a lot. Just because there's so many creative solutions you can do for stuff, because you run into so many like pitfalls like in game dev, especially the more realistic you go. You'll be like, oh, I have this cool idea, and be like, could you do that in real life? I don't think you could. And sometimes it gets too realistic to the point that you stop remembering that like it's a game at certain times, but other times you do want things to feel more realistic. Like if the intent of your game is to be more immersive, you really do need to like get the fantasy stuff out of your system and like double down on the design intent. But that being said, I like goofing around in fantasy stuff. You're just able to be like, oh, we have a unique problem, I guess we'll have to create a unique solution for it. I think that's what I enjoy about my current job right now is very realistic but also very aware it's a video game, so being able to be like, we have a unique problem, how do we tackle it realistically, but still like trying to be creative and unique with it. Not every video game has to be fun as in hee silly goofy fun, but it should be different types of like enjoyable and like satisfying for people to play. Oh, I have no ammo. Oh, that's why they're not shooting either. I didn't put any ammo in. Oh, well, they have ammo. But yeah, that being said, RPG fantasy is a great genre. So I hope you have a lot of fun with that. I wouldn't mind getting back to making something in that genre again. And there's definitely a want for it. Like, I feel like just like pointing out Baldur's Gate 3 for it is kind of like pointing out Breath of the Wild for like open world inspo, but for good reason. Like, games are nominated for Game of the Year for a reason. Like, there's definitely a want for fantasy adventures. So many fantasy games get loved by so many people. Having trouble getting a job in gaming. Yeah, we were talking about it earlier, but it is incredibly brutal. It's scary seeing like talking with people that have been in the industry for like most of their life, and they're like, this is the worst it has ever been. Like, there's never been anything as rough as this. But I was talking about it earlier, what got me through like layoffs and like my job hunt was just like learning to love my work again. And I had stopped like doing personal work for a while leading up to layoffs because I was so afraid of losing my job that I didn't focus on what I would do if I did. So kind of like layoffs was a period for me to learn how to do what I wanted to again, and to fall in love with my style and what I want to do as a designer, and there were even like some design tests I did and stuff where some of them I genuinely enjoyed, others I had a really bad experience with, and I learned I didn't think I had like level designer morals and like ethics. I learned I did, and I learned like, well, this is part of like what makes my design me. So definitely just taking the time to like make what you want to make right now. Make the connections you want to seek out. I think that's why stuff like I haven't played it yet myself, but like Expedition 33, another one I think I'm definitely gonna have to pick up at some point. As someone that likes Final Fantasy and like the turn-based ones and stuff, I think that's kind of Expedition 33 has like revitalized the turn-based RPG genre a bit. But what really draws me to it is like it's a bunch of like, I think what, ex-Ubisoft employees, and people like when the industry was starting to turn back around and go back down, or not turn back around, but like starting to falter, they were like, let's just make our own thing. And now I genuinely think that could be Game of the Year, just because I always think the Game of the Year should go to, I think usually whenever they have like the nominees and stuff, I'm too optimistic, I guess, and I'm always like, well, all of these games deserve it. They're all quality-wise worthy of being Game of the Year. But what I think should actually like get those awards is like what sparked communication and like discussion in the community and had a hold on people. So I think if Expedition 33 were to get it at a time where layoffs are just finding a job in general is so rough, to give it to a company that just pulled together and made what they wanted to make despite that, oh my god, it'd be so inspiring. That's why I'm very happy. I still haven't played it despite being a huge platformer fan, but I was so happy when Astrobot got the win last year because it was just like such a fun, refreshing title. And again, it was just devs having fun, and I'm like, this has to be rewarded more than ever. So yeah, the industry, I'm where some days like any words of encouragement just don't help. It's dark times, but for anyone that like has the time, like definitely use it to find what makes you a game designer, what sparks your passion for development. And that's something no career recruiter, no industry is going to ever be able to take away from you. They might pretend they have control and a say in that, but they don't. The only person in control of your creativity is you. And I'm not just biased because I adore fantasy games and I need to eat up more of them constantly or I will explode. I loved all the fantasy segments and like Split Fiction also. Like, I love them so much that the sci-fi sections are still really cool, but we'd get back to them and I'd be like, oh, I want to go back to the dragon level. I was kind of hoping the why are they stuck? Where are they stuck? Hello? Oh, I threw that too far. I think this is a Lyra thing. They just kind of get stuck after a while. I think it's when they run out of ammo. Sometimes they don't always like reload right away, or on respawn. Lyra kind of sucks. Keep just spamming the... I'm winning, I'm winning. Oh! No, don't look at me, don't look at me. This is why we need more cover in the level. Yeah, I'm glad I'm helping some people get in the creative spirit. That's why I started up the channel right, even in college, right at the very beginning. It's just being like, I just needed a space to be able to nerd out and talk about game design. And my thought process behind starting streaming and then like eventually starting making video essays and like taking the extra detail to organizing my portfolio and stuff was just always at the heart of it all is I'm not the smartest person. I probably will never be the most accomplished person, but if I can make somebody out there just have a slightly better day, whether it's playing a level that I made, whether it's listening to me talk about game design and talk about, like with the 3DS video being like, I don't know how many people had an obsession with the 3DS eShop and considered that their go-to source of information on E3. I don't know how many people fit on that very particular overlap in a very specific point in time, but I did, and I'm gonna talk about it, and seeing people relate to that. Like, if I can just connect with a few people, even when I get still like a lot of like reviews on things or a lot of comments that's like, you're stupid, like this sucks, what are you doing? I'm very aware I'm stupid, but if it puts a smile on somebody's face out there, like, I can't say it was all for nothing. So that's kind of what they scared me. That's kind of what fuels my creative process every day. Because that's definitely what kept me going as a kid. It's just you'd play a game and it'd be like, whoa, this is like, I'm doing nothing but like driving. Like my sister and I would just drive around in cars on the GameCube and do nothing. It drove my mom insane. She can still hear like the music from that game to this day and it drives her crazy. But that just like, just driving around and like seeing all the environment was very buggy. Like I knew exact bugged spots and the locations to like kill the other cars and stuff. And having bugs like that in the game, I don't know, probably that stressed being a dev now. That probably stressed a lot of developers out and they're like, fine, just ship it, whatever, it's gonna be a bad game. That made my day as a kid. That made the game, those bugs made the game super special and memorable for me and my sister. Oh, I just want to say, say victory so you guys know I'm good at games. Just one more kill. One more kill and we'll be good. Manny stole the kill. Let's go, Manny. But who actually won? I carried. I got 11 of those eliminations. I'm the best gamer in the world. This is coming along. This is coming along. Also, hello. I'm doing great. We're probably just at the end of stream now, but just took the day to remake. I've been remaking some arenas from Kid Icarus Uprising in Unreal Engine 5. So we've blocked out and did like an initial art pass on 2 this year so far. We've just been taking our time. I've just been doing chill streams like for 1 or 2 hours a week. Just kind of slowly working on this in the background because I am a level designer professionally, so I already do this like 40 hours a week. Anyway, but just having a nice little bit of personal work to do as well, and I'm a huge Kid Icarus fan, so I thought this would be fun to do for the year. So yeah, we're on arena number 3 here. This is the Ancient Fortress map, and we didn't even have the map set up at the start of the day, so just under 4 hours here. We did a full initial pass, and we even set up the base nav and combat, so definitely still a lot more I want to do with it, but this felt very productive. I wonder if I have to go back and look at the timestamps on our other Unreal streams now. I wonder if this is the quickest we've whipped out a blockout. We might have to start blockouts on the weekends more often. Yeah, this is fun level. Made like a little Miro board here. And my cousin, shout out Cup Drinker on YouTube, that's my cousin. Sometimes he comes in here and insults me when I'm playing Elden Ring. He's allowed to, you all aren't. But yeah, he got these screenshots for me as well, of the map, because he has his 3DS modded and stuff, so he was able to send me screenshots of the level to use as reference. But yeah, I was a bit nervous because I'm like, okay, this should be easier, especially compared to like the Spiral Tower map we did last. I'm like, this should be easier. But then while like doing the paper design, I was like, I think I got some of the metrics wrong. But I think we course corrected enough. We took a little bit longer and we made like actual metrics and dimensions for the ramps and the doorways, the little entryways that we locked in place. And we just stuck to those metrics for like everything throughout the whole build, and that made it go so much smoother. That made it so much smoother, just with a little bit more advanced planning on Friday, and then doing some advanced planning for like the first like hour. The first half of this stream, I would say, was just like setting up the level and then setting up and measuring stuff on the ground level, and then I think the second half went really quickly because we just had everything. We had all the tools essentially we needed to work with. So I'm glad. When in doubt, even if it's personal work, take a few hours to paper design and take an hour to like really organize everything in your and really organize everything in your level. Ooh, back-end and front-end developer. That's hardcore. Suggested learning how to make VFX shaders and doing them on an Unreal Engine. For starting with Unreal, what would I recommend? I'm not much of an effects or an artist type person, so that is a little bit more out of my wheelhouse. I kind of just download stuff off of Fab, slap it in, and if it's unoptimized, I ping somebody for help, and I'm like, help me. But I will say I enjoy using Unreal Engine because there is a lot of free content that you can use, and there's a lot of free tutorials out there and such. So my advice for if you're just starting out with Unreal is take advantage of any documentation you find if you want to focus on one thing. So if you want to focus on more like tech art stuff, but you want to really feel, well, how would this feel in an actual game? Take advantage of some of the gameplay templates Unreal Engine has to start out with. Take advantage of just bookmarking a bunch of tutorials and looking through them, and keeping in mind that sometimes following tutorials is hard, especially for like using existing stuff, because you might end up setting stuff in your project one way that then when you go to a different tutorial, they're kind of based off of different values in their stuff. But there is still a lot of help looking through forums. Usually it's kind of like when you would look up like, well, I guess kids just use ChatGPT now, but back in my day, it was kind of like looking up like homework answers, like, and seeing like someone already asked the exact question on Yahoo Answers like 8 years prior. Usually there's a lot of forums where if you're running into an issue with Unreal, and you're like, this doesn't seem, it seems like there should be a setting to fix this, someone's probably asked that before, and you can find an answer off of that. So it's the same with web dev. Yeah, there's a lot of documentation provided, but that's why I tend to go for videos more, as I'm very much that's why I can't do any coding, or I can do web dev coding, and I can read crash reports. I learned how to do that, and I can follow like things to do basic coding, but I really can't do anything at the advanced level coding wise. It scares me. But because of that, that's why sometimes it's nice to find people like do visual stuff and do stuff through blueprints. That's the reason I like to use Unreal compared to like some other game engines. Is really the big thing with Unreal is the blueprint scripting. It's all like visual scripting. You still can do just like coding and stuff through like C++ and Visual Studio and all of that if that is your jam, but knowing how the blueprint scripting works, if you want to know just kind of what a lot, especially if you're going to be working with other people that use Unreal, or like you'd want to one day, knowing how to communicate about like the blueprint system might be a good thing to check out. You wanted to get your hands on blueprints. Excellent. Yeah, that's definitely, I don't think I would be nearly as far in game dev as I am today if it hadn't been for like blueprints. Like, I was originally going to be a programmer. I kind of was like very naive. I wanted to be a teacher throughout most of public school, and then right before applying to college, I had like my high school teachers be like, you get such good grades, you're so lovely, Emily. And I'm like, yeah, I want to be a teacher like you. And they're like, that's nice. And they put their hand on my shoulder and they're like, if you care about your life, do not. They said it in the sweetest way possible, but I did go to like public Midwest schools that I have a lot of weird field trip stories about. I did not have a normal education, I realize, looking back on it now. But yeah, they were like, if teaching really is your passion, then absolutely nothing can stop you, and we always need more teachers in the world. But they were like, if there's anything else you want to do first, like if there's anything else calling you, and you're not ready to make as big of a sacrifice that you would need to make for teaching right now, they're like, you're going to college for a bachelor's degree, right? Do it in something that really calls to you. So I switched gears right before applying to college with no like game dev knowledge to get into a game dev program, and I did. But all of that was new to me, so I thought like I had done a little bit of web dev, so I'm like, oh, game dev means you're gonna be programming the whole game, so I'll get into coding. I took like one coding class and I almost like wanted to break down because I'm like, I cannot do this, and it was crushing to me. I'm like, how am I gonna get my degree now if I can't do this? And they didn't have you take the C++ class until like sophomore year, so I was already over a year into this degree program already, and I was just starting to use game stuff, and I was like, did I just like get into the wrong major entirely? And it really freaked me out. But then that same semester was the semester I started using Unreal Engine for a separate class, and once I learned that you could do like not all the same stuff, if you want to do anything that you want in a game engine, just like hard coding, it's going to be best. But once I learned that you could use blueprint scripting if you're more of a visual person like me, it just made so much more sense to me. And like I'm not even that good at it, but I was able to at least comprehend and start to follow the lessons more. And it just, I always say when I get into a new position or on a new project, I'm always like, yeah, I'm more of a layout person, but I guess I can do blueprint scripting. And it's turned into me like offering to do blueprint scripting more so upfront and claiming it as like a skill that I'm proud of now. I'm, again, still not great at it, but if there's a mission system that needs to be used, or if there's like some debugging that needs to be done, I am like very open to that stuff now, and that's because I have like over 5 years of Unreal experience now, and it's definitely changed my life. So I'm a little biased when I say learn Unreal and learn its blueprints, but it did quite literally change my life, I think, having it all be visual. So that's what I did. I think the closest thing to like anything visually and cool, so I'll go ahead and just like save this map here. Let me load up Forgotten City. So this was like the first one we kind of blocked out. The closest thing I did in here, and this is just using a bunch of art kits and stuff. So which of these had the destructibles on them. I think this one is, yeah. Is I worked with like making these destructibles so when the grenade blows up, all the debris goes everywhere. I was actually just helping my partner do this the other night too. So this is something native to Unreal 5, which if you're just starting to learn Unreal now, that's probably what you would be using. I just started on 4, and a lot of projects that have been in development for a while are still on Unreal 4. So Unreal Engine 4 isn't like dead or anything, not by any means, but definitely if you're starting to learn Unreal Engine, just go ahead and hop into 5. But yeah, I've made, I have like a highlight on my Twitch that has like me discussing, like speedrunning, discussing how these work, but basically if you want to know more, you can look up stuff online about geometry collections in Unreal Engine 5, and they're made by, you can take any mesh, any static mesh that you have, and then you can go into this fracture menu here at the upper left, and then in the fracture menu, like you can then, there's this option to show bone colors, and that will make it a bit clearer, but this is where it will originally all be one color, and then you can like choose what type of fractures you want to do on what types of piece. It will start out on the whole mesh when you first start, but then you can fracture it down further. And then I did stuff like you can choose, there's like an impact, a master field volume, and that's what will actually destroy these geometry collections. So in Lyra for this, I have it like spawn around the grenade when the grenade explodes, and that's what's causing the impact. You can attach it to like a weapon if you want, whenever a weapon hits something, for it to break that. You can have it as part of a sequence to spawn in. If you want to have an explosion naturally occur off in the vista, then you can have that spawn in as part of that sequence to do that. So there's a lot of different ways you can use that. You can also mess around with like a lot of the destructibles we have so far in this project are all like brick stuff, so I had to crank up the masks so that they weren't like just kind of light. It used to be I would walk up to it and like my foot would hit it and it would like fly around, which doesn't naturally happen when you touch a brick, right? So we had to like really increase the mass, but to make a grenade blow it up, we had to really increase the impact of the grenade as a result. But it took a lot of polish, but that's how we were able to get to where we are now. And then yeah, I think the last bit of polish I did was I like to, with like brick stuff, I like to anchor the bottom pieces down a bit, and then on explosion only the top kind of falls apart. So I'll just, let me do play from here. Oh! So yeah, the bottom you see stayed in place, but the top all kind of fell down. They killed me! But yeah, I will say this system, it sounds really cool. It is a pain in the ass to use. This actually was like one of the last things I was learning at one of my jobs before I got hit with layoffs, and it was really frustrating because I spent a lot of time being told to learn this system instead of like doing actual level design work, and I had a very bad experience with it. Now I know. I've been trying to relearn the system because I'm like, I shouldn't let a bad experience like prevent me from gaining knowledge, right? So I've started reteaching myself this because it is a very flashy effect. But if you were to be like, oh, I really want a destructible thing to be like a main mechanic in my game, look at something else. Look at something else maybe. That would be my advice. That would be my advice. But if you are looking to just learn what Unreal Engine 5 can do, and looking to have fun with it, just for like learning purposes, then I would say I do recommend, like, yeah, knock yourself out with some of this fracture stuff, because it is pretty cool. to be able to grab any mesh and just like explode it in a matter of seconds. A bit of a learning curve there, but definitely a cool thing I would check out. And the other new thing to Unreal Engine 5 in this menu is it has a modeling mode, and it's basically like a very simplified version of like Maya or Blender that you have now, and you can just kind of like create your own thing. You can even do like UVs and bakes and some textures on it. So you have like a mini Maya mode in here. But yeah, you can do stuff like you could model in here, and then you could make the materials and like texture them and then fracture it in here, and then you can also, there are some live effects stuff you can do. I think the closest thing to an effect I did, now I don't remember in the moment how I did this, it is in a VOD somewhere. It is in a VOD. The only effect I have in like a level right now is this is my cat. This is my cat. We needed to put a flag on top of the tower, obviously. So we have, there is like a wind direction actor you can put in. And then we did use some like, I followed a cloth physics tutorial, I think specifically for a flag in Unreal Engine 5 was the tutorials I was looking at. And then I followed it. I like tore up the edges a little bit more to make it look a little more like the one we wanted. And you can put any material on it, so I put a picture of my cat on, and then you know what? It just seemed to fit the vibe. And yeah, we even added a separate flag over here that looks like an actual cloth. But yeah, I don't have the heart to take him off of here now. I'm like, you know what? I'm never gonna package this project anyway, right? Because I don't want Nintendo to murder me. So why not just... That's the biggest advice I have for game dev, especially for when you're learning stuff. Put weird stuff in to encourage you to learn, right? Like, just put funny textures in your game. Like, if something's weird and you're like, let me put this in for fun, lean into that more. The most times, like, things I've learned in Unreal have stuck with me have been when I'm just messing around. So yeah, if I was just doing that, I probably wouldn't be nearly excited talking about like the wind physics that already exist in Unreal Engine 5, but because I slapped a picture of my cat on here, I'd love to talk to people about it. So yeah, if I can give one piece of advice on Unreal Engine 5, it would be there's a lot of resources out there, so seek them out and have some fun with it. It's a very fun engine. And thank you for the follow. Yeah, this has been fun. I usually don't do game dev streams on the weekends so much. I would love to more. But also I'm more of a variety streamer on Twitch, so we've got a lot of like Nintendo playthroughs we're doing right now. I'm also playing through Elden Ring for the first time on like a monthly basis. So usually I do have to carve out time on the weekends for torture since it entertains you guys so much. So usually we do gaming streams on the weekends, but I have started doing morning streams more in the hours before work. So Mondays I'm playing like life sim games, so we're playing the new Sims 4 expansion currently. Wednesdays we're 100%ing Tears of the Kingdom and playing Mario Kart World, both on the Switch too. And then Fridays, I'm starting to make game dev mornings, so we will continue working on the blockout stuff Friday morning. And again, if you guys ever miss a stream, I have been uploading them all to YouTube now afterwards, so that we have a little archive. And I also do video essays if you guys like hearing me. I do a lot of yapping about game design, but if you guys like hearing that in a more condensed, like 20-minute format, then I do have a few video essays. They're available on Twitch as well, but they are over on YouTube too, that I put out monthly currently. But yeah, thank you guys so much. I had a really fun time. Was really surprised I was able to block out so much today. Oh dang, are my links broken again? My bots never do anything. I'll pull up the link. My bots don't do anything, and they don't ban people either. unless I say something silly. Like if we're playing a mature rated game and I'm like haha booby and chat repeats haha booby, it will ban them. But we've had actual creeps come in and say some pretty disgusting stuff, and Nightbot hasn't done anything. They're like, must have been the wind. But if someone in chat repeats something I say, it's over for them. I've had regulars that have watched me since college get like timed out by Nightbot just going crazy. Must have been the wind. But yeah, thank you guys so much for a fun stream. I hope you have a lovely rest of your weekend. I've got to keep building that Lego set there and playing more Donkey Kong, but I will be streaming. I might make a coffee run in the morning because I am running low on coffee, and that's very important to me. So I might make a coffee run, so it might be a later start or a shorter stream in the morning, but we are going to play more Sims 4. We have to see how Sage from Sonic Frontiers and Cereza, the reincarnated Bayonetta in our Sims 4 version, we have to see how they get along as fairies now, and they'll probably fall in love. That is my plan. So we'll follow that plotline tomorrow, and again, switch to Variety Day Wednesday, and if you are a fan of the game dev stuff, more of that on Friday morning. We will work on revising our existing blockout and working on improving on the original design. So yeah, take care of everybody. I'll see you guys on the next one.